Hi and welcome to our Facebook Live this evening. It is Thursday the 21st of April 2022. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Jenny McCormack from Jemini Crafts and I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I'm based in the market town of Brackley, which is in Northamptonshire here in the UK. I appreciate you joining me today. If you are watching live, do pop on and say hi so that I know you're here and I'm not just talking to myself. And if you are watching on replay or on YouTube, then hi and welcome to you. You could be watching this at any time of day or night, so I hope you've had a good day or have a good day ahead, and thank you for catching up with me. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just look for the S button on the right hand side of the screen at the bottom, and if you're on Facebook you can follow me and get notifications of when I go live. That's if you want to, of course. So this week we have been featuring the garden greenhouse stamp set. Now hopefully I've corrected my webcam camera and it's a little bit straighter and not at quite such a funny angle that we had last week or earlier this week. So fingers crossed this looks a little bit more sensible than it has done in the past. So we've been using the garden greenhouse stamp set, and today I'm introducing the dies that match the stamp set. So the dies cut out these elements here and also the 4 flowers, but in addition to that it has a separate set of greenhouse dies and some additional flowers and foliage. So it makes it really a useful set. Oh, it's just told me I'm live. Got there in the end, didn't it? Only 3 minutes later. Okay, so let me show you what we've created so far. Then I'll introduce the dies and then we'll get cracking with some card making. So this is one that I created yesterday. I've used the same set really that we were using all through the week, although I have changed the sentiment and I've used the same birds from On the Horizon. And again on this one I've stamped that on the inside. And then I've got this one here. This is the one that we created yesterday, so that was Wednesday, if you joined me for that. And I fussy cut some of the pots and the plants, in this case and here, and the pots, the 4 pots here, from the Plentiful Plant Suite. So this was the papers that go with that suite. So I fussy cut those out and added those, and then again I've got the birds just to fill in some detail really on the sky. So that's that one there. And then earlier I created these ones here. This would have been on Tuesday that I did these live. Trying to think if I did both of them, I can't remember. No, I think I did this one before, and we'd use this for coffee and card as well. So those are the ones that we've done so far. I'll just pop those up there for the minute so you can see them. And then today I'm introducing the dies. There's quite a lot of dies in this set. Let me see what it says. It says there are 18. So at the bottom of the leaflet that is included in each of the die sets, it tells you how many dies there are. So if you need to make sure that you've got them all back in place, that will tell you that you have. And the die set consists of these two large greenhouse dies, and these are different to the greenhouse in the stamp set. So if you're expecting it to cut out the stamp set greenhouse, it doesn't. It's a completely different shape, but it does have a backing layer that fits within it, so that you can, for example, cut out acetate or patterned paper to put behind your die cut greenhouse. And this is what the die cut looks like. I've just literally cut this out on my Mini Cut and Emboss machine, and there is the greenhouse there. I can see a tiny little piece which is attached at the back. Just going to get rid of that because it will annoy me. I pushed it through, but it's attached itself again. So that is the die. It's quite robust, and I've cut this from Evening Evergreen card. So that is that die that I'm going to be using today. In addition to that, it has dies that cut out the stamped images. So the small foliage, the larger foliage, and then the 4 flowers, and then the wide foliage as well. And then it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of foliage leaves and 4 dies for flowers that are in addition to the flowers that it cuts out. So what I've done is I've just popped a couple of these through already, so that I'm not sitting here cutting for you all night. And these are the flowers that come out. So you have 2 large and 2 small, and they're really sweet little flower shapes. And these are some of the leaves. So you've got 2 of this shape, like so, and then you have some of this, one of this rounded shape, and then you have a 3 leaf piece of foliage. So they're really easy to work with. And let's do a little bit of work. So I'm going to cut out a few more of these, but I'm going to prepare my card to start with. That's the middles of the flowers. So my idea for today is to effectively recreate this sort of scene with foliage going across, and then I'm going to use my die cut foliage on top and also behind my greenhouse layer. That's my intent. So we'll give that a go. So I'm going to start, and I've picked out Melon Mambo just because there happened to be a piece of card I had to hand. I think probably from the other day, actually almost certainly when I did this one. So I'm just going to be working on a piece of basic white card to start with, and I'm just going to grab my piercing mat. So I'm going to do a little bit of stamping, and I've got, although it looks a bit dirty, but it's in fact dry, I'm just going to use this for my backing. So if anybody is here and watching, do say hi, let me know. I'm going to start by stamping, let's find the stamp set, this piece here sort of across the edges. So let's just grab that one and a block like so. And the Evening Evergreen goes so well with Soft Succulent. These are 2 of our current in colours that I'm going to use that combination. I really do like that combination. So I might do some in each colour, or I might die cut some. So let's give this a go. Just going to stamp this off and see what it looks like. And then add a little bit of detail. Oh, bless you, Karen. Nice to have you join us anyway. Thank you. Okay, so I'm just going to pop these down here like that. I'm going to find my greenhouse because that's going to be positioned here. And I want a little bit of detail behind this as well. So I'm just going to add this on either side, and I'm then going to use my 3D die cuts to fill in more detail there, but I want that to look like they're inside of the greenhouse. Hi Tracy, thanks for joining us, Tracy. I hope you're well. So I'm going to add a little bit of green ink across the bottom in soft succulent and a little bit of blue, so that I just set the scene. And then what I'm going to do is use my die cut pieces to add to this, and I might need to cut, I probably almost certainly need to cut a few more. I did cut some to start with because I didn't want to bore you too much. Oh, glad to hear you're good. Love the mugs that you were doing, Tracy. Are you doing 50 of them perchance? As it's for a 50th, I wondered. It's a lot of work either way. So just adding this detail in the bottom, like so. Now I can go, there we go. Don't do that like I've just done. Put my finger on it here. Let's do that again, because I don't really want to start trying to cover things up when I've only just... Oh, you're not doing 50. Oh, that's good. I'm very glad to hear that. Looks like you were still doing a lot either way. Okay, what did I do? And then I did some in the middle here. So let's put my greenhouse on, make sure it's in roughly the right place. So, yeah, I can get away with that. Okay, right, wiping my fingers very carefully, trying not to get ink. What I might do is just use a piece of paper on the top like so. There we go. Oh my good, 17, that's amazing. Well done you. And I'm guessing they're all different flowers maybe. Okay, so just adding this detail just across the bottom to soften it. And then I'll add some sky as well. And then I'm going to add the die cut leaves and flowers, just for a slightly different look. So this will be very similar to one of the cards in our card class this month. Oh, excellent. That's good. Not quite as much work, though I guess it's similar really. Same amount of work for each one, isn't it? Okay, so that's my bottom bit there. Let's pop the greenhouse on. So I can have that greenhouse a little further up if I wish. Okay, now I'm going to do the same for the sky. So as not to do the same error, I'm going to switch to my blue brush. This is our blending brush. I'm just going to grab my Balmy Blue, which is my go-to sky colour. Although you could use, well, you could use any light blue that you've got. You could use Pool Party, for example. Just going to ink that up. There we go. So I'm just using this to hold it, not necessarily to do a sharp line in the sky. This is to stop me getting ink where I shouldn't. So just building this up slowly. So for those in the UK, just a reminder that our free shipping offer finishes tonight at effectively 10:59. Please don't leave it after 10:30. And that's free shipping on any order over £60. And I did pop a little note out on my Facebook page just a little bit earlier to say that we will have some price increases in May. So if you need to stock up on paper or card rather, adhesives, ink refills or inks themselves, then you could save yourself a little bit of money as well as the postage if your order is £60 or more. It's not a huge price increase, sort of 25p here and there, 50p here and there, but obviously it all adds up. Okay, let's have a look. So there's my background scene. Let's cover this ink up. Right, so I've got some die cuts already done, and I've got these in soft succulent, and I've got some little flowers in Melon Mambo, and I've also got these ones here. I may just stick to Melon Mambo, I'm not quite sure, but I have got Mango Melody. I'm just going to show you very quickly cutting some of those out, and I might cut some darker leaves at the same time. So let me just grab my mini die cutting machine, and I'm going to pick some of those leaves, and it's amazing how much you can get on a plate. So here is my plate here, so I'm going to have a couple of those, and I've got an offcut of Melon Mambo. You can see where I've been here already, and I'll just do some more flowers in that. I haven't poked out the middles of all of these, but I'm pretty sure it'll be fine. So just popping those like that, and pop that through. Like so. And you really only need to put it through once. I think I put the greenhouse through twice. I did forward and back just to make sure I had an accurate cut, because you don't want to be poking out tiny little pieces of greenhouse. Okay, so let's take those out. So I've got some extra flowers. They're my sort of flowers, those. And then I've got some extra foliage here and here. Just pop that out. There we go. Got a pair of tweezers. There we are. Okay, now before I lose these, I'm going to put them back on my sheet. And a little bit of adhesive, and I will transfer these onto a magnetic sheet in due course. Right, let's tuck those in there. And let's just do a bit of putting together. So, I've got my greenhouse here, which I can have either right at the bottom or up a little bit. Might do it up a little bit so that it covers those leaves there. So what I'm going to do is just mark here where that needs to be. So I've just put a line underneath, put a line here and here, but I'm going to put other foliage around it, so it will cover up my lines. I do want to put one I know that doesn't need to be above these flowers here. So all I'm going to do is just literally add some detail with this foliage here. Okay, so you can turn them round and have them that way round. So let's glue these down, and I'm just going to use wet glue for these. And this is coming out quite a lot. It's obviously I've stored this one upside down. So all I'm going to do is just pop the tips of some of those. Let's have this one here, like so, and then actually not going to see those very well, so I'm going to put these darker ones here. Like that. So just a small amount of glue so that you're not getting glue all over the place. Okay, let's see how that's going to look. Okay, let's see what else we've got. So these ones I'm going to pop inside and a few on the outside as well. So pop the tip into there. Voila. Like that. And then you've got these other shapes as well. This one, so just building up a little scene. Like so. It's going to go in there, so I can add some flowers into that. So let's pop a couple of these in. So you've got the large ones and the small ones, and I do like the fact that you have multiples in the same set. There we we go. Let's pop another one at the top, maybe a small one. She says don't get glue everywhere. Getting glue everywhere. There we go. You see how that's building. If I just lift it up so you can see it a little bit better, because I appreciate it's sort of a little way away from you. So there's our scene, and then basically I'm just going to add all of the other foliage in and the flowers in the front. I want it clear at the top so you can see the top of the greenhouse. Okay, so I think I'm going to put that down as it is and then add the other foliage in the front, and then if I need to cut out any more I can do. And somewhere I've got a little glue stick, which of course I can't see. Nope, I can't. So I'm just going to use the top of the tweezers. And I've obviously done this before because there's a bit of glue on here already. So just adding glue on the slightly large areas. You could use a cocktail stick, or if you've got one of those little glue sticks, they are good. They're called glue applicators, I think. Sadly, we don't sell them. Okay, so let's pop this on here. Like that. And I'm going to use this clean piece to push it down so I don't get any glue where I shouldn't. There we go. Okay, and now I can add some more foliage, and obviously you can cut this down as well. Don't have to keep them all the same. You can cut this one down so it's a little bit smaller and looks different. So let's do that. This one. There we go. And then I'm going to add some foliage in front and then basically dot the rest of the flowers on. And you could combine this with the pots as well, like I did on this one here. So you could cut out some pots and add those in the front if you wanted to. Let's just, I've got another one here. Like so. I can't believe it's Friday tomorrow. Goodness me. Let's have this one here. No, we'll have it here. I might come back and add some more in later, but you'll get the gist of it. And then I'm going to add my flowers in. Now you could cut these out with the self-adhesive sheet behind it if you wanted to. Just use that to press it down. And you could, if you wanted to cut up some small dimensionals, you could cut out some dimensionals and put some of the flowers on there. Let's add this one here. And then I've got some gems for the centres of the flowers, and then a sentiment as well across the top. And I'll probably add the birds. So I'm going to stick to one colour, although I could, maybe I should introduce some Mango Melody as I cut them out. So this is like gardening with an instant garden, which is my type of gardening. And if you know me, let's add one on here. Like so. And let's pop another one in here. There we go. So you can carry on adding more flowers. Oh, nice, Karen. Off for the next 3 days. That's very civilised. So you can carry on adding more flowers and more detail as well. Let's just put one in there. It's getting a little bit sticky. There we go. That will do for our purposes today, but I'll put those on in addition. And then I am going to add the birds again. I can just find the stamp with them on. There we are, I had it all ready. Go. I've got basic grey today for a change. So I hope you're able to do something nice, Karen, with your time off. Let's just try these out on here. It's a little bit light, but they'll be fine. I'm still looking for a little bird to put on the top. Some there, and some there, and going to add some bling inside the larger flowers, I think. Sorry, it had something attached to it. There we go. Two and three. You could put these obviously in all of the flowers if you wanted to. Like so. Oops, daisy. And then I'll just layer that up. I can't think of what sentiment I'm going to use, so I might leave that and then just pop a sentiment inside. And I've got a Melon Mambo layer. It's going to go behind there. and then I've got a white card, but I could easily pop it onto an evergreen card if I wanted to. Just going to put on that because it's a little bit sticky, but I quite like the crispness of that. There we go. So just going to use some glue on the back of this and we'll be done. So this is the greenhouse dies. Let's try another one. There we go. And they coordinate with the garden greenhouse stamp set. Obviously it's nice to have both of them, but I think they also both work in their own right. Obviously with the greenhouse dies you get this lovely greenhouse and all of the flowers. So, but if you had to choose, I don't know. I like them both. Okay, make sure that's opening the right way around. And I've cut this card in landscape. So it's a standard piece of A4 card, cut at 10.5 and then scored at 14.85. Okay, so there is our finished card using the, trying to see if that's in focus. Using the greenhouse dies. I've got the stamp set behind, but you could use any foliage behind there, to be honest. I did obviously some sky and some ground with the blending brush, and then I've cut the flowers out in Mango Melody and Melon Mambo and added the birds in basic grey. So I hope you like the finished result. I won't be back here tomorrow, I don't think. I've got coffee and card in the afternoon in Brackley, so if you're local to me in Brackley Northants, you're more than welcome to come along 3 till 4 p.m. in the Red Lion pub in Brackley. So thank you for joining me this week. It's been a short week. Don't forget, free shipping finishes tonight. And if you want to beat the price increases, then grab and order your items before the 3rd of May. These are the main items. Oh, you really can't see that, can you? That I would recommend if people are looking at to stock up. So ink pads are going up 50p, refills 25p. A4 card packs 50p. The thin basic white card is going up 75p per pack, and the thick basic card is going up 50p per pack. There are some other additions and changes, but they are the most ones. Oh, fantastic. Enjoy, Karen, enjoy. So thank you so much for joining me. I'll take that out of the way because I know you can't see it. It was my reference as much as anything. So thanks for joining me. I hope that's given you some ideas. This forms part of our class in a box, which will be going... we have our in-person class next Tuesday and then our online class next Saturday. So I look forward to doing that. It's a variation on this one and 4 other cards. So I look forward to catching up some with you then, and in the meantime have a great weekend. Look after yourselves, look after your loved ones, and I hope you can keep crafting. Bye for now. Thank you.